Hello, Lumaroos and Platypulses. I just want to go through some videos discussing some of the cards that I think have just missed the mark. Particularly cards that it's like, I want this to be good, but it's not. And the first one I want to start with is Verdalith Champion of Demeter. We got a retrain of the weakest Lith, and it's worse than the original. Alright, so just looking at the first one and establishing what its problem is, it's a 3/7. You have to be down 4 spirits just to be able to use it, and it's like you got to be so far behind that when you cast this, the heal doesn't really help you. And it's like, are you purposely throwing to make this play, like to be able to cast the Verdalith, or are you kind of just like it's there just in case you're losing? So the card's only good if you're behind. You shouldn't be preparing to be behind. You shouldn't be playing to be behind. So that's why I feel like it's not a very good card. And then it comes in as a 3/7. And it's like, cool, I can put up this guy as a big wall. Very few things get over it. But it's like, how does that advance me? How does that progress my game state other than just slowing my opponent down and dying to the next eddy they drop? It's just, obviously it missed the mark. Wasn't going to work. But then we got the Champion of Demeter Verdalith, and it reads a little better. Like, it's just, you don't have to be down 4 spirits. You can cast it nice and easily, and then gets a effect where it can cast another Celestial from your hand. But its stats are worthless. It's a 2/6. And being a 2/6 means that it's the same as the other one. You're just casting it to defend. You're not getting aggressive with this. This doesn't have any push. So it's not really useful in that sort of regard. But we could have, it could have been, we could have had this be a good card with this sort of, setup with the way the effect works. First up, being a 2/6, and it wants Demeter's effect used on it. Since we can't use Demeter's effect in the opponent's turn, all we're doing is making it a 5/9 in our turn. That's the goal. You want us to turn this big bungus into a 5 attacker in my turn. Obviously you don't need the extra 3 defense in your opponent's turn. So obviously you're not boosting the defense on it. Unless, you're also blue enchanting it. Yeah, let's make it a blue enchanted guy so that we can make it a big attacker. It's just not good. Because then you also need, other cards. So what's wrong with it? Well, first of all, other than the fact that all the lists equal 10, why does this equal 8? This one's a really weak list. This is the physically weakest list by numbers. And then, yeah, it wants Demeter's effect to still not clear an Astrabbit. That's a really good baseline for a card. Can it clear Astrabbit? No. This cannot clear Astrabbit. It wants you to put another spirit under it. Well, it wants you to put Demeter's effect on it to make it a 5, so it still can't clear the rabbit, just so it can cast another guy who probably, other than Mustation, can't clear the rabbit. So, how do we fix it? Well, we could make it a 3. If we made it a 3/6, then putting Demeter's effect on it makes it at least a 6 attacker. It can clear something and get another guy, and that extra guy can get in for damage. Good. That's one option. The other option is that we have it keep Demeter's buff for a turn. So when Demeter gives it the +3, it keeps it in the opponent's turn, so that way it's not a 2/6 in their turn. It's a 5/9, which is a much better card. That way Demeter's actually getting to do something to this card, because I'm not wasting a Demeter activation on a Verdalith at this point. This is awful. Does anyone else feel like this card just sucks? What's the point of that? Casting the 1 spirit Celestial from your hand isn't that good of an effect. The other alternative, this is one that Dooms came up with, is we give it the Mustation effect, where it puts itself down after attacking. So you buff it with Demeter, so it becomes a 5 or a 6 ideally. You attack with it, and then at the end of the battle phase it swaps, and it uses that big defense. I think that's a really good method for using this card, is instead of just having it as a punishment for Moss Station, we use this attack swapping at the end of the battle phase as a reward system. So the Verdalith can get in, do some damage, and then swaps to defense and puts up its big shield. Just as a sort of like aggressive with Demeter, defensive without. And then like it still loses to a Gorgon's Gaze, because then it's not swapping, all that sort of stuff. Or it loses to Dense Fog. It doesn't make the card broken, it just makes it more playable than this. So yeah, here's a quick little rant on that. It's a really disappointing card. Like, my son loves the Demeter stuff. He likes Verdalith. Verdalith is one of his favourite cards. And it's just so disappointing just that this card, the original, was not playable. We tried so hard to push it. And this poor kid would just intentionally throw and sandbag trying to get his spirits down. But as you're trying to bring your spirits down, your opponent is playing cards that bring their spirits down. So you have to like really start losing just to be able to play a guy that doesn't even put you ahead, because it costs 2, heals 4. And you're already down 4, so you're still 2 down after playing the 3-7 that does not progress your game state. Just like this 2-6 doesn't progress your game state. It asks you to waste your Demeter on it just to cast a guy that you could have just cast instead of the Verdalith. And then put the Demeter on, and now your guy, who is either a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6 in the Mutation case, is now bigger than this Verdalith can physically get to. Like, I would rather play a Rumacol, search Equalings, and then Demeter the Rumacol, and have that as a 5, than waste my time doing Verdalith, Demeter the Verdalith to play the Rumacol to search the Equalings, and still have the exact same stats on board, except I've just spent an extra 2 spirits to do it. It's terrible. It's terrible. There's no point. There is no reason for this card. So, this is, yeah. I don't like it. I do not like Verdalith as a card. And yeah, the new version is just, it's just too weak. Why is it a 2? There is no reason that had to be a 2. It's not busted to be a 3. It's not busted to be a 4. Like, this at a 4-6 is still a really weak card. This is a 3-6 weak card. You have to put Demeter on it to make it do something. And in this situation, putting Demeter on it doesn't do something. It just lets you play a guy. I don't know how they missed the mark on this. Anyway, I might do more of these ranting about cards that I feel are underpowered. This is a quick video, just short, easy. Let me know if there's any other cards you'd like me to like rant about and try and like be like, what's wrong with this? Why is it so bad? Because there's no reason for this card to be this bad. The power creep in Firestorm is a decent jump from the power creep in previous sets where it looks like it is. There is definitely a bit of a jump in power, but then this is going down. This is weaker than things we saw in Frostfall. This wouldn't be playable in Frostfall. This wouldn't be playable in base set. Why do we think it's playable in Firestorm? Yeah. Anyway. This card pissed me off today. Just, I read it and was like, why is it so bad? Because, like, my son wants to play a deck around Verdalith and Tectorus, and we can't do that because this card is so bad. Like, is that the value from it? We play this, we waste the Demeter activation on it just to play Tectorus, and it comes out as a, 4, 5, 6? It comes out so that the Tectorus can get in? Cool, man. Or I could just play the Tectorus with the Demeter, and it's already got enough attack to clear anything. And it annoyed me. It's like, I want my son to be able to enjoy this game and be able to play the cards he likes, but he can't do that when the cards he likes are bad. And just so, it was like, we have a bad Verdalith. Sorry, buddy, you can't play that. New Verdalith remake, it's coming out again. We're getting a better Verdalith, it's worse. You also can't play that one. Here, I've got 2 Verdaliths for you. Don't put either of them in your deck. You're going to lose. It sucks. We need more Celestios and less Verdaliths.